Hello and good evening. My name is Trevor Fogle Griffiths from iDeLick Media, and sitting in front of me is superstar DJ Michael Costa Speaks. Hello, Michael.
Hi Trevor. How are you? How's it going?
I'm good. And you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just finished the set, as you know.
Oh my! And I tell you what, yeah, non-stop floor-filling music.
Thank you very much.
I've got to say, amazing.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Now, you know, Michael, you've been around the DJ scene for quite a long time.
Yeah, yes.
And, you know, I've been listening to your music, and I've got to say, top class.
Yeah.
Ultimately top class. Now, you know, being around the music scene, being around the club scene as well.
Yes.
And also a radio DJ, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
That's an awful lot of things you're doing there.
It's a long time of being at it. I mean, if you think about it, from 1976 when I first started clubbing.
Yes.
1977 taking music a little seriously, but not too heavy.
Yeah.
78 being disillusioned with going to parties and not having the right music.
Okay.
And as you know, going to the mountaintop, Crackers, the nightclub, West One,
Yep.
which was really meeting the dancers, the whole environment, the fashion.
Yes.
the music, the fashion, and the dancing. Everything went into one.
Now, one thing I'll ask you, I mean, do you enjoy doing this?
It's very difficult now, today, because you've come from an era. So I've had to come through the 70s, to the 80s.
I mean, look, but the question is, Michael, do you enjoy it?
I do enjoy it.
Oh,
I love it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Because, you know, doing this type of work, because it is work, you are a professional. And there goes an ambulance.
There goes.
And you know, you are earning a couple of pence out of this. I know you've got another job, and this is like a full-time, you know, you've got a full-time job and you do this on a part-time basis.
Yes.
But, you know, what do you think you would have been if you didn't do DJing?
I think I would have been a tennis coach, because I play tennis, as you know, a lot. But I think I would have gone into tennis coaching a lot more serious, because the hunger was just like the records. I've got boxes of tennis magazines. Wow. I speak to lots of coaches. I visit the Grand Slam tournaments. So similar to the music, the love of the music, I would have taken it further with the tennis.
Now, there's one thing do you know there's a little bit of a, how would I say, a compatibility with your love of tennis,
yes,
and your love of music,
yes,
and coming from which island in the Caribbean?
Jamaica.
Yeah. Because you know it's an awesome sport over there.
Yes.
And they've got some awesome tennis players over there as well.
Yeah. I mean, we did have Dustin Brown for a while when his dad was Jamaican.
Yes.
He came over to Jamaica, played for Jamaica, and he's gone back to Germany to play for them.
Right.
And I've also played at the Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston, where I was in heaven.
I've sampled that. It's an amazing court. Amazing court. But you know, saying that, and I can see there is some kind of like an inbred tradition going on with you.
Yeah.
You may not recognise it, but I've been watching it as well. But more so, back over to the music.
Yes.
I mean, what's it like being a DJ today?
Today, it's very difficult, because either you've got about 3 roads to go on. You could go on the road that is acceptable. You'll get more work being acceptable. You can go on that middle area with places like where we are tonight, Remember the Times?
Yes.
And then you can try and get into that higher echelon of music, where only a few DJs are in there that can actually play that.
Right.
So
and, talk about this echelon again. What's all that about?
I find with DJs today, we have certain criteria that meets it. For instance, each year I believe that a DJ is the main DJ. So let's just say last year into this day it was Johnny Reckless.
Okay.
Hottest property there, because he's willing to play those records, those album tracks that the people, I believe, on the low level, will not touch because of fear.
Yeah, I understand. Whereby Johnny, I know of his DJing. I mean, like, Johnny was probably a decade after me when I was involved with it. And one thing I've got to say about Johnny, he's willing to take that risk.
That's right.
And sometimes that risk does pay off. But when it doesn't, as you know, it's straight down the pan.
It's completely one or the other. Yeah. But if you stick to your guns, I also think there's maybe one other DJ that I know that does the same within our settings, which is Barry Sharp.
Okay.
Because Barry plays funk and he will not get off that. His heart is in it. He will not stop.
Yep.
And I have a respect for him.
Yes.
He may have, I've been to a club where there's a packed house and also been where there's 5 people.
Okay.
And he will still play.
Big respect to Barry Sharp, without a doubt. Incredible DJ, been going for ages. Remember him from far. But more so on the music tip, in regards of what type of music do you think you need to play to actually become, e.g., mainstream? Not that you're willing to become mainstream, because I know you're underground.
I try to.
And you love it there.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, if you were going to take the underground and turn the underground into mainstream, what are the risks involved?
Okay, the risks involved is, number one, you may not get employed again. The other thing is, as you know, the club scene has changed because now the bar is where it's all about. Whereas before, you hire the club and you do the club. Today,
right, yeah. I mean, there were solid promoters out there.
And I think that's the thing. But I think when it comes to playing the music,
yes,
a decision has got to be made. A few of us DJs have made a decision with playing edits. So you'll play an edit of a track. For instance, tonight I played Side Effect, a re-edit. Okay. So people kind of knew it, but those people in the know...
Side Effect by who?
The track's called Always There by Side Effect.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I played that tonight, but a re-edit.
Yes.
So for the people in the house, they're happy with the track, but for the purists, they know something, an element has been added.
Okay. Now, we understand that now. Even themselves are doing this re-edit, knowing it's added, knowing it's for the light. However,
yes.
But the key thing is, what do you think of the arrangements of these tracks? How important is it to get that arrangement correct?
Yeah, it is absolutely paramount. So you have people like Tom Moulton,
yes,
legendary 70s mixer, mixed things from MFSB, OJs, everything. He has that 70s feel, so his mixes they run smoothly.
And I'm taking that's that current music today.
And because what's happened is these mixers, John Morales, for instance, have now come back to the 2013 with marvelous albums of mixed, and it works well. Right. But where it doesn't work well is where you get a DJ that's only been around 10 years, who doesn't know the music, he's been handed to it, and he tries to add the house element in it, which it doesn't work.
I understand.
And I think you need, to make it work today, you need the legendary DJs. You know, some have gone, Larry Levan, you know, some have gone, but the ones that are here, it's important that we use them.
Yes.
To reshape the music, and hopefully maybe the 30-somethings may hear this in the field. So that's the best way I can look at it.
Okay, Michael, thank you for that. Now, I just want to move on and find out about, you know, would you say that it's very important for a person to understand music progression throughout the time and speak to as many people like yourself to not only understand the history and, as it's always been, paramount to anyone doing a nightclub, a music philosophy?
Yep.
How important is for those young guys out there who are trying to DJ and be appealing? What does it take? Who do they have to speak to? What do they have to know?
First of all, they need a dance floor mentality. They need to dance, to feel the beats. I find a lot of the younger DJs, even my son, when we talk about music, he laughs. He thinks it's all a John Travolta word. He's 25.
Yes.
My other son's 28.
Yes.
They listen to Dad's music.
Yes.
But they think it's all this John Travolta wearing the shirts, and they laugh when I take them out. But they also see the dance.
Right.
I would say to anybody going into music now, the younger guys looking at the music that we play, that we like, going through the decades, number one, get the feel of the dance floor. Speak to as many DJs as you can. Go on YouTube and check out old DJs, check out what they used to do a little bit of homework. See lists like Norman has put up a Crackers list, and that's the club in West 1 Wardour Street, off Oxford Street.
Yes, remember it very well.
He puts it up, so a lot of people access that, so they can get an idea, play the music, and get a feel of the times.
Yes.
Because without a feel of the times, you cannot take it forward.
Now, there's one thing I've experienced and one thing I do know about being on the DJ scene is that it can pay incredibly well. Incredibly well if you can get it right.
Yes.
Now, I know you've got another job and you pretty much do this for a living. Now, there's a few DJs I remember back in the day were just raking it in.
Yeah.
And when I mean raking it in, trust me, they were really earning a pretty penny. One thing I've got to know, I'd like you to answer, what did they all have in common?
If you're talking about, for me, when I first heard Pete Tong down at the Barracuda Club back in 1980, they were linked. He was linked to the Mafia Jock. Right. And what they all had in common on that scene was soul. They loved the sound of TSOP. They loved that feel. Mm-hmm. And they brought a warm feel to the music. And I think that what they had in common was that they had a sort of sensibility where they looked at the dancers, looked at the floor, and could put the tune after tune seamlessly. And we enjoyed that. Yeah. Whereas you found that in our more underground scene, we were more to the funk, we were more deeper into the disco.
Yes.
We wanted our music harder, yes. We wanted it faster. Also, we were fit men back then. I mean, we were absolutely, you know, I've got stones on me compared to what I was when I was there.
Yeah, but it's great reminiscing going back. Let's talk about some of the social realities as opposed to the economic realities that was going on back in the day.
Yes.
Because from the DJ chip, economically, it wasn't that easy. But there again, access to the music kind of was in variable degrees.
Yes.
Now, there was a period, let's say early 80s. How easy was it to access music?
Well, via the Blues and Soul magazine, Black Echoes. Apart from those, that was it. Our access was the record shop. My favourite, Groove Records.
Oh, wow.
The old lady Jean, wonderful lady.
Yes, yes.
It used to actually open during the 80s on an evening. And I used to go down there because no one was around. And sometimes I would have to sing a song to her. And she was so good, found it just like that. And a wonderful lady. I went to Bluebird Record Shop as well. And we have Abby somewhere in the house.
Okay.
Which was a great access because you could also meet DJs.
Yes, you do. Yes.
And for some DJs who felt a little embarrassed and feel intimidated by the whole DJ thing in the actual shops, they'd stand back and see what the other DJs were buying. And then they would access it there. And I find that that's the way music was going there. My access was the magazines. They were so important.
Yes, they were.
Told you at future releases, also told you what DJs played in clubs, top 10, which I think should be important today.
Yes.
It's something we're not getting, you know, to give people an idea of what's coming, what you can get.
Yeah. Now, I want to move on and talk about yourself as a DJ now. I know you do some radio work.
Yes.
You care to mention your radio station, but before you do, what I'd also like to find out is what does it take to become a high-profile radio DJ such as yourself?
Well, I'm honoured you would say that, high-profile. I think what it is for me is, when I got into DJing, I actually wanted to go on the radio, but I was a bit fearful. Didn't know what I was to expect.
Okay.
But I decided, number one, first thing I did was I made my own CDs, mixed them at home, called the show the Inside America Show, handed the CDs out to my friends, and said, what do you think of this? I listened to a lot of non-music stations to listen to how the DJs spoke, the actual radio presenters spoke in dead air. Because one of the most important aspects of DJing on the radio is speaking in dead air. Because you're not going to let that record end.
Can I ask you just to explain quickly, what is dead air?
Okay, dead air is when the record ends and there's a space between the next one. Some DJs, they wait till the record ends, then there's a space, then they'll speak, then there's a space, and the record goes on.
Okay.
When you get down to the true levels of it, you speak as the record is going out in the outro. You're speaking, and then you speak into dead air, and then the record starts and you speak back out. And that's what I find makes it really important.
Oh wow,
You know,
that's some amazing information there, Michael.
And plus, you also want to, when you do speak, think of how you would like to listen to it.
Yes.
What would you want from a radio station? So on my show, as you know, I will play the album.
Yes.
I'll tell you about the album, where you can access it, where you can buy it, who may have it, where's the cheaper model if I can get it for you. And I think if you give the listener everything, the tools that I didn't get before,
Right. Okay.
I think that's the job. That's all they ever ask.
The other question is how important is research?
Paramount. To me, I go to Wikipedia, I read lots of books, I read a magazine called Blues and Souls. Sometimes they've got bits and pieces, but the best magazine is Wax Poetics.
Ooh.
It's an American magazine, comes out once a month, absolutely excellent, gives you insight to, like, one of my favorite labels, CTI Records, Creed Taylor Incorporate.
Right.
It told me things about Grover back in 74, 75 I didn't know.
Right.
So when you pick this information up, you'll play Grover and say, hey, do you know what? Grover didn't like this. Or
Grover Washington,
Jr.
the
Yeah,
musician.
jazz saxophonist who used to play on CTI Records, which is Creed Taylor's company. Went very well until about 76, where a lot of people like Bob James,
Yes.
famous keyboard and composer. He also had Hubert Laws, George Benson. These guys got big recording contracts. Some went out on Warner Brothers, some went Columbia, as you know, as being a collector. These are labels that we began to worship.
Yeah,
So I would say,
they're getting pretty rare now.
It's pretty rare.
Because I mean, I haven't been in a record shop since I can't remember when.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone over about 3 decades probably. But what's it like out there in the record shops now?
I went to a record shop last week, and I find that a lot of DJs now keep their little private record shops very quiet. I was in one in Hendon, northwest London,
Yes.
and sadly it closed down. I think that he tried to do things a bit late, but when I went into the record shop, there's normally only me in there. And sometimes I would go in and help him out with a few of the records, because, as you know, there's records out there that some of the shops don't know the prices of.
That's right, yes.
They don't know a rarity. They don't know whether it's what we call a cutout, which is an album which has a slight cut, which
Okay,
means that the record has been brought back out of the shops that went back in America, which were going for 99p in the old days, which suddenly became £80, as you know.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you know what, Michael? I'm not going to admit anything I did in the past.
Yeah.
Because really and truly, this interview's about you.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. But today, like you said, today it's accessing music is basically off those magazines.
Fantastic.
I try to get as many as I can.
Now, I've got 2 random questions I need to ask you.
Okay.
I know you didn't know about this.
No,
all
not
right?
at all.
But the first random question is you know, I love asking this question. If you were on a beach by yourself, needed some musical entertainment,
Yes.
which one single person would you choose to have and serenade you?
That
what
one,
song?
okay. I can only go to the best album ever made on the planet, which was Norman Connor's 1978.
Yes.
This Is Your Life.
Wow.
And I think it would be Wouldn't You Like to See, which is a track on that album. Because I think that personally in my heart, since I first picked that album up in 1978, nothing has beaten it.
Okay.
And if there was a fire, I would run out with that album. If I was shipwrecked and I had that album, I would be at peace. But everything on there appeals to my heart.
Fantastic.
And that's the best
fantastic.
one.
And the final question is about if you were able to get one single record that you've been dying to get after for ages. You know it well, everyone's after it's at your collection.
Yeah.
How much would you be willing to pay for it? What's the maximum?
What's the maximum? I'm weary because my I've gone to a few silly prices, but if they were released,
Yes.
the album by Keith Barrow, 1978, which they seem to can't find the tapes. If they found the actual master tapes, and it was for the CD remastered was £50, maybe 60.
Yeah.
I would be tempted.
Wow.
I can tell you that now.
It's all right if you say that, yeah, because you know you're a working DJ. I mean, like it's an investment, obviously, and I know for a fact it's going to pay great dividends and a great interest.
Yeah.
Now, just want to know about, what is, with all this DJing, Michael, what's in it for the future for you? What's your future? What can you see in your future as a DJ?
If I was to see the future of the DJ, of me as myself, okay, I would say is to aim for radio, more high stream radio. You want to get into the bigger stations so that you can give them and project the music that you love.
Fantastic. Now, I know we're at Cherry Tree tonight, listening to some great sounds and everything like that.
Thank you.
What next? What's your next gig? What's coming up next in the pipeline?
Next in the pipeline, we'll be working in Kenton, which is northwest London, at the really newly refurbished Masters Bar. I'll be back with my partner Akin, who Mr. Shembanjo Jr. We gel as DJs.
Fantastic stuff.
We've known each other since I used to deliver his papers back in 1973. I used to watch him when he used to go to school. We used to walk to the same school. Okay. We've had a love of music for over 30 odd years.
Wow.
And we're going to do a night that is close to our hearts.
Good.
Where we'll be able to album track and do those things. And that's a dream we've had.
Yes.
And if we can do it, then that's the greatest thing I can get.
That's going to be the place to be. So,
yeah.
Want to quickly give it a shout? Let everybody know again where
it's in Kenton. It's called the newly refurbished Masters Wine Bar. That's in northwest London. Easy to find. Nearest station is the Bakerloo line. And if you come down, I guarantee you, we'll be playing the things that need to be played. Wow. The essential tracks.
It sounds like it's going to be one awesome night.
Thank you, Trevor, and I'd love to have you come down as well.
I'm going to try. Can't promise. It's a really crazy heavy schedule.
Yeah.
So, maybe, I'll get in contact with you if I can make it.
Thank you very much.
It's been great speaking with you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure as well. Now, before you go, can you just tell everyone where they can find you, let everybody know about your radio station and...
anything else?
Let's go for it.
Okay. You can find me on TSOL Radio. That's the Soul of London. www.tsolradio.com. I'm on there every Tuesday night between the hours of 9 p.m. and just after midnight GMT time. I do a show called the Inside America Show, the complicated version. So there's your warning. So you may know some of the artists, but you probably have never heard the track before. But for those people who find that a bit too heavy, I also do the Thursday night show on the Soul of London Radio, which is on from the same hours, 9 p.m. till just after midnight, where you get the easier listening. And plus the smooth urban jazz as well, which I also love because it's wonderful music. But thank you, if you can join me.
Excellent, Michael. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you
very much. Take care and well done. Thanks.
Thank you. Well done yourself.
All right.
Excellent. Thanks.
Bye. Thanks.
I had to have a break, Trev. My leg was killing me.